Good evening. It's going to be a very wet and wild Australia Day weekend across the southeast, and authorities are taking no chances to ensure the public is well protected. They've opened the floodgates of Wivenhoe and other dams and say there's no chance of a repeat of 2 years ago. But they're expecting transport chaos with scores of flights already diverted away from Brisbane. Jessie Grayson has been following preparations, and Jessie, despite these reassurances, some flood disaster victims are still nervous, understandably.
Georgie, it was a revised warning from the Weather Bureau this morning that what was previously predicted about what ex-tropical cyclone Oswald would deliver to Brisbane and the southeast was actually going to be much, much worse. We're expecting up to 300 millimetres of rain over the next 2 days. Now, that's prompted the Premier to talk to 12 mayors from across the region, many of them who urged him to drop the water out of our dam network. SEQ Water has agreed to that, and the release of that water is now underway. Expect an Australia Day like no other. Ex-tropical cyclone Oswald is coming to Brisbane and bringing relentless rain.
Over the next 2 to 3 days, perhaps 200 to 300 millimetres of rainfall falling.
The Gold and Sunshine Coast should expect more. It's a forecast that has 2011 flood victims nervous. So, SEQ Water is releasing nearly 50,000 megalitres from Wivenhoe, Somerset and North Pine Dam this evening, lowering levels by nearly 10%.
That is just to give extra security and peace of mind to people. That's to provide even more of a buffer.
The Minister says the dams already have plenty of room to spare, 1.4 million megalitres of free space.
We are giving the biggest buffer we possibly can to Wivenhoe and North Pine Dam to cover the inflows and make certain people across southeast Queensland are safe.
Flash and creek flooding is still the biggest concern in Brisbane.
I just say to people, though, we just need to be not overly alarmed, but alert. That's where we are. We're ready if the event does occur.
Low-lying areas of Breakfast, Norman and Bulimba Creeks will be affected, and the weekend morning high tides also record-breaking.
Places along the Gold Coast, along the Sunshine Coast and even in Moreton Bay might see tides above the highest of the year.
For now, Australia Day events will go ahead at Southbank, but the 3,000 people expected on Fraser Island will clearly be affected.
Then you might want to reconsider Fraser this long weekend.
Oswald's remains will head into New South Wales next week, but the Weather Bureau says it won't be the last cyclone of the season.
We're at the wettest time of the year in southeast Queensland.
Brisbane Airport Corporation is also warning anyone who's expecting inbound or outbound flights to expect lengthy delays and even flight cancellations this weekend. The Premier has also been tweeting this afternoon about closures to national parks and camping grounds along the Fraser and Sunshine Coast. But in Brisbane, and where the rains are really going to come this weekend, the message is if you live around a creek bed or a stormwater drain, stay well away when that water hits.
Very important message. Thank you for the update, Jessie Grayson.